Okay, everyone, good afternoon. Welcome to today's edition of the afternoon trading session. Yeah. So let's see, let's give some 5 minutes and see how many persons join us within the next 5 minutes, okay? But you're all welcome. Okay, let's jump right into it. Welcome once again. Let me go and share my screen with us. Okay. So first of all, I don't know if we still have people who are still on the oil buy. We actually give an update on oil buy. Let me make sure that um let me make sure I'm updating that. Okay, you can close your oil buys. Okay. For those persons who took the oil WTI buy that was dropped on the WhatsApp channel, you can close it. Notice that it is approaching a small resistance here, which we're still considering to see if it will break it or not. You understand? There's a high chance that if it cannot break it from here, price would likely head all the way back down, right? So you want to make sure that look out for that. Okay. But yes, that's it. You can close your oil WTI buy. Now, let us quickly of course, let's begin with the dollar index. Dollar index has been gaining strength after yesterday's move, after the weakness that it had. But uh personally, I also see that it has broken some level of structure. It broke this structure here and has returned to this zone to likely take liquidity from the market. So I don't think that all is done or all is over. um uh so it doesn't I think this sell, the weakness of the dollar, is not something that we are done with yet. You understand? I don't think it's something we're done with yet. If you even see it on the daily time frame, you will notice that even on the daily time frame, the dollar index kind of broke structure here. You understand? Hey, so dollar index broke structure here. You have this particular kind of support zone that the dollar index broke. So what it will likely do, and what it is doing right now is to maybe push up to around this zone here. And somewhere around this zone is an expected fall. There's somewhere around this zone where the dollar is expected to fall back. And that means that it will likely lose strength from that place. Remember, we do not even, I don't think we have any high impact tomorrow. We don't have any high impact tomorrow. So what we see right now is that we might likely get the dollar just retracing back, falling back down. You understand? So we need to watch out for that. So yes, the dollar is strong. It's been strong for a couple of hours, but it's approaching a point where that structure was actually broken. I remember I always tell us that technically most times when price breaks a new zone, this zone now, as the price breaks that zone, price will return back there to pick liquidity from there and head back down. So it's a matter of, and that is also how that oil WTI trade was given today. And so it's a matter of figuring out where price is going to head to and be rejected. You understand? Personally, I feel like even from where price is right now, that rejection can come at any time. That rejection is something that we'll likely expect. All we just need to check for is if there is any form of fair value gap or something like that that we may get that retracement from. If you watch the dollar index right now, you'll notice that we have something like that here. Let me just show us really quick. Where the dollar is approaching now, we have a kind of fair value gap somewhere around there, something like this, where you have a space between three candles that have not been covered up. So it's very possible that this is where the dollar may get to and return from, and be rejected. Okay. But what I will just say is that the weakness of the dollar is still very much in play. What the dollar is doing right now is some level of retracement. That's what I believe the dollar is doing, right? So that said, let's look at Euro USD. Let's look at Euro USD. So you agree with me that Euro USD has actually been on uptrend, right from this point here. It's been on an uptrend. And yes, it seems like Euro USD is really retracing because of the fact that this would look like a double top. But the truth is that even Euro USD kind of traded above that last point there. It kind of traded above that point. And so much so that even the data that came out for the dollar, although unemployment claims came out for the dollar, and it was slightly higher than expected, you understand, but I don't think that effect will remain for so long. If the dollar continues our weakness, Euro USD might just be retracing, doing some very good retracement to pick up that buy again. You understand? It may be a matter of trying to pick a fair value gap where it now takes its buy from. You understand? So even as it is selling right now, I am actually considering a point where this particular sell could retrace and we could enjoy, a bullish move from there. I think that one good spot is, if you look at this bullish candle here, this long bullish candle, the sell candle that came covered it. Now, between the, if you look at this long bullish candle here, from here like this, it was a buy. So a sell had to happen to cover it. Now, you have a buy like this, right? You have a buy that we've not really had a sell cover. You understand? We have a buy that we've not really had a sell cover, and that is where Euro USD is kind of approaching right now. And that is why, personally, I feel like these are very good zones where it's very possible that we get a return. It's very possible that price changes its direction. You understand? So if I was going to trade Euro USD, this is how I would trade Euro USD. Personally, I will be looking out for buying Euro USD. Two places I'll be looking out for a buy on Euro USD. Just to make sure that I'm not caught out of the market. At least I can take advantage of that buy. You understand? Now, buying Euro USD from around 1.08460, I will consider that zone. In fact, I will consider buying from 1.08460. I will also consider buying from 1.08320. Okay, so I'll consider buying from 1.08460. I'll also consider buying from 1.08 380. So those are two places I would 320. So from 1.08460 and 1.08320, those are two zones I would consider buying Euro USD from. Those are two zones I'll consider buying Euro USD from. So I feel like we have like a fair value gap around that place when we checked it on 30 minutes. So I feel like that is a place where price would approach and retrace back to the upside. So that's 1.08460 and 1.08320. Those are two places where I will consider buying from. You understand, right? So so is either you're doing that, or you could also consider buying. Now, if at all that retracement that we're expecting happens and price continues to the upside without maybe getting to 1.08460 or without getting to 1.08320, another place I could consider buying from is just above this slight rejection here. Once price can break above this slight rejection, we expect that push up will likely continue. You understand? So if price buys above 1.08760 also, okay, if price buys from 1.08 if price buys from 1.08760, I can buy from there also. Price buys from 1.08760, I can buy from there also. And if I'm buying from there, I can consider at least 15 pips or thereabout of profit. You understand? For the person who is on a sell on Euro USD, yes, you actually be on very good profit, because since yesterday, Euro USD, as you see on 1 hour, has, even to this morning, has been making very good retracement in the market. We are just saying that, or I'm just saying that the trend of the market is an uptrend, and retracements like this are necessary, they happen. So what you would do, since you're already on good profit, you can just apply some you can apply your stop loss to break even point, just to secure some good amount of profit, so that if Euro USD starts pushing up, can take advantage of that. Personally, I feel like from 1.0 1.08460, it's a good place to buy. Even here, even this point, 1.0540, those are good places to buy. So I feel like the trend has not been broken yet. You understand? The trend is yet to be broken. So there's still a very good chance that Euro USD can return to the upside. So my 2 or 3 zones I'm considering buying is 1.08460, like it has been dropped on the chart, 1.08320, and also 1.08760. The first 2 zones I called are below price right now. So if you want to use them, you may likely be using buy limits, or wait for price to get there and check out price action around that place and buy. Okay. Why 1.08760 is a buy stop, as it has been correctly written on the chart. Okay. So that is for Euro USD. Let's look at GBP USD. Okay, good. So for GBP USD, we'll have the same thing. Although for GBP USD, it's very, it's very kind of clear that the structure was not broken here on GBP USD. We got this push up, although this particular push up like this broke this point here, this point where price was rejected most recently, price was able to break it. So if at all, as price is retracing like this here, price could retrace to somewhere around here to continue to the upside. Another interesting thing is that if you consider, if I put my horizontal line around that place, you'll notice that, you see, this is a point where there's been a couple of rejection of price. You understand? So as we trace it backwards, it could actually be a very good place for us to buy GBP USD from. Look at it. On 4 hours, this was the last structure that was broken, and price will naturally return towards it to gather liquidity and head upwards. So it seems like a less risky place for you to actually look out for a buy. You understand? Seems like a less risky place to look out for a buy. So we'll go back to 1 hour. What I'm trying to locate now is where the best place that I could actually look out for a buy, and I'll be considering other blocks, support resistance zones, or even fair value gaps, right? So if we are to look at this chart, for instance, we had this buy here like this that was covered by this sell, right? We have a buy like this that was also covered by this sell. We now have a buy that is yet to be covered, and so that means that if you look at it, our fair value gap could be somewhere around here. Fair value gap will be somewhere around there. Coincidentally, it's also around where we're going to have a special class for that. I will not be able to explain all that now. Okay. So if you have this point here where price will likely return back to the upside, since we know it's actually on an uptrend generally, right? So there's a high chance that these are zones where GBP USD, Euro USD could return back to the upside. You understand? So personally, those two, just like I did with Euro USD, 2 places I will look out for buying GBP USD: 1.26320. 1.26320. I'll look out for a buy from there. I'll also look out for a buy from 1.26150. So that is 1.26320, 1.26150. 1.26320, 1.26150. You understand? So that's 1.26320, 1.26150. Those are places I will look out for my buy. And if I look out for a buy from these zones, I should be considering at least 30 pips of profit to the upside. Okay, 30 pips of profit to the upside. So that's one. I can consider my buy from 1.26320. I can also consider my buy from 1.26150. And that place I can consider buying GBP USD from is this zone here. 1.26780. 1.26780. So we have 3 zones to look out for this buy on GBP USD. The first one is 1.26150. Second point is 1.26320. Third point is 1.26780. You understand? And these are points whereby you have like a gap there, you have a condition there whereby price could return back. Looked at it on 4 hours, we noticed that there is nothing here. Yes, this rejection was very clear, inverted hammer, confirmation, and price really sold. But understand that price just broke this point here, right? And so price will naturally head towards here, take liquidity, and come to properly test this particular place. Price is yet to test here for GBP USD. Price is yet to test here, although it's been around that zone. But we would expect that to return to this place to take liquidity and head to the upside. You understand? So that is why 3 places I'm looking at for my buy. The first one is 1.26320, 1.26320. Second one is 1.26150. So that's 1.26320, 1.26150, and then 1.26780. 1.26780. Okay, so those are zones, those are good zones to consider. Okay, so moving on from GBP USD. So let's check out oil. Let's check out oil. For the Abeokuta training, we will be moving it to next week. We will not be in Abeokuta this week. Due to 1 or 2 things. Okay. TP, I said look out for at least 30 pips. So TP on GBP USD, what I said was to look out for at least 30 pips. Now, for oil, first thing we noticed on oil was that on 4 hours, we had like a very, let me give us a clearer chart. So we had a divergence on 4 hours. We had a divergence on 4 hours, and that divergence actually caused price to push to the upside, right? Here, caused price to push to the upside. Remember that remember that from this place like this, if you use your RSI, you see there was a divergence here and then price pushed up and all that. And so we're able to use this as a very good place to enter the market on a buy, right? Now, we entered the market on that buy because we also noticed a fair value gap somewhere around this, and although that was on oil WTI, but oil actually moved in the same way, and so we were able to look out for that buy from which oil pushed all the way up. Now, understand that before this push up that oil did like this, oil already broke this structure, to the downside. So you see what it did. Now let's start from here. This was a structure here, and then oil broke it with this fall here. When oil broke it, oil returned back to that point, take liquidity there, and then head further down. You understand? Now, oil broke this. This was now the new structure, right? Now, oil broke that structure, returned back to that place, take liquidity from there, and then what? Head down. Naturally, oil should reach here and will head down. But this time around, it was able to what? Head all the way back to where this move started. So there's a very high chance. So on 4 hours, there is a very high chance of buy another. But the truth is that right now, even on 15 minutes as we watch oil is currently on a strong resistance. You understand? And it's a place where oil has been rejected for a while. You understand? So the best way we are going to look at trading oil is to consider where the next structure is. Okay, consider where the next structure. Remember that oil is generally on a downtrend. You see it on 1 hour, like you can see that it's on a downtrend. You understand? So you will not be surprised that from this point here like this now, oil just heads to the downside. We just need to be able to look out for where we can sell to take advantage of the downtrend. Remember that we have said that the trend is your friend. You understand? We said the trend is your friend. So now looking at it, looking at the current push up, which we're able to take advantage of, very good. The next thing we need to consider is the best available place for selling oil. And the next place for me will be somewhere around here. Although even where oil is right now is looking so good for a sell. Where oil is right now, because it's a strong resistance, it's looking like a very good place for me to sell. You understand? It's looking like a very good place for me to sell. But this zone like this, the whole of this zone is a place whereby we should be considering selling oil. And the truth is that if I'm selling oil like this, personally, I expect it to return all the way to this point. But not to be too greedy, So for me, I will be looking out for my sell on oil. Be looking out for my sell on oil from. I'm looking out for my sell on oil from 83.59. Either 83.59. I'll look out for my sell on oil from either 83.59 or 83.77. So either 83.59 or 83.77. So it's either I use 83 so either I use 83.59 or 83.77. Those are two zones where I'll be looking to sell oil from. You understand? So you see that I'm selling from that point. Or another thing is you can actually watch oil on 15 minutes like this. If you get something like an inverted hammer, a bearish engulfing candle, then it will be a very good place to actually sell from. You understand? So 83.59 or 83.77 is a good place that I will consider selling oil from. And if I'm selling oil from that point, at least I should be selling oil till just first for TP1, I'll be selling oil to maybe around 82.80. I'll be selling oil maybe around 82.80. But personally, I expect oil, if it's falling for me, I expect it to fall all the way to 81.00. I expect to fall all the way to 81.00, but 82.80 is where I'll be considering. So either 83.59, I'm selling from either 83.59 or 83.77, those two zones, right? That's even taking our first zone. Now, so I have a 3.59 or a 3.77. Now, the next nearest structure we have for oil is that 83.77. That's where the nearest structure is, where if price breaks. Now, let me explain something to us. And this is not even about entry point or anything. Now, right now we have a sell on 83.59 also, or 83.77, around that zone, right? Now, what happens if price breaks that particular zone? Okay, so what happens if price actually now trades above this place? If price trades above that place, there's something that will happen. What will happen is that the fact that price trades above there means that price will continue buying. That's the first thing. It means that price will continue buying. But a very nice way to trade it is that once price breaks above it, just be patient enough for price to return towards that place. There's a high chance that price will return towards that place, and then you can now take your buy for it to push up. What I've just explained now is, it does not it's not about an entry or all that, but that is actually those are information that actually give very good profit, right? From this 83.7, 83.59, we are expecting that price would retrace from there back to the downside, right? That's number one. Number two is that if anything happens, whatever, and price can break above 83.77, okay, if price can break above 83.77, what we will expect from there is that price will likely return towards that place, take liquidity from there, and then now head all the way up to maybe 84.50 or thereabout. Okay, so there is that caution where you need to be what's the word now? You need to control your excitement, especially when it breaks above that point. Because if it breaks above 83.77, which I don't expect it to, but if it breaks above 83.77, it means that it would have broken that structure to continue to the upside. You understand? But that's candle that breaks it. I will not advise that you just start buying with that candle. I expect price to return back to that 83.77 zone, and then you can now buy from there. You understand? Here. So that is how it works. Okay, that's how it works. Now, I'm willing to assist that person who lost 800K free of charge. Send me this. Well, whoever is dropping his email and whoever is sending the email to whoever is dropping the email, this is outside rally trade, right? So you let me just state that you need to be careful. Whoever whatever you are dropping email or whatever deal you're having, you understand, your deal is with rally trade, your account officers. Okay, this person may be actually willing to help or whatever. I just need to state that this is not how we operate here. So whatever conversation you guys are having outside here, you're doing it at your own risk and reward. Okay, good. So let's continue. Now, so that's what we've looked at Euro USD, we've looked at GBP USD. For GBP USD, for I think someone is asking TP. I said for TP, I said I was considering around 30 pips. I said I was considering around 30 pips, right? So that's that. But let's still look at some other. Okay, we already even have I spent a great deal talking about these entries, because I really want you to understand why I took those entries, right? So let's still look at some other instruments since we are here. Okay, it's been a while I actually talked about JPY pairs. So I could let's look at GBP JPY. Okay. So this GBP-JPY, and the GBP-JPY is returning back to the upside. Now, let me explain something to us quickly. The last major structure, this thing I keep repeating is what we see the market doing over and over again. You understand? Here. So in this point here, the last major structure was around here. And then price broke above it, right? Price broke above it, price returned to that point to be rejected, returned to that around that place to pick up, right? There is also something about this place here. If you see on daily time frame, you'll notice that this place here, you just have candles that have not been able to form a body above here. So there's a high rejection around this zone here, right? So let me see. I'm trying to see what better way I can what better way I can. Okay, well, what I would just want to say is that for that is very GBP JPY will likely continue to the upside. Or likely continue to the upside. But the best way I will trade GBP JPY, considering the fact that it has been rejected so well from this point here, as we saw on the daily time frame, coming straight to 1 hour, I'll be watching keenly for price zone 197.450. 197.450. Now, this is not about buy stop or sell stop, so just pay attention. This is not about even a pending order. This is an instruction. You understand? This is an instruction. So if we want to buy this GBP-JPY, considering the fact that we're not in a buy yet, there's a strong resistance here. The best thing that we want to do is to see how well GBP-JPY can break above this place. If it breaks above that 197.450 zone, if it breaks above there, there's a very high chance that once it breaks above there, just like I've been saying, once it breaks above there, it will return back to that place to take liquidity before heading all the way up. Let me see whether I'll use a trend line to explain what I mean. I'll use a trend line to explain what I mean. Please just pay attention and follow what I'm saying. Now, from this 197 to, let's say somehow price breaks above it, and that means that GBPJPY pushes above that place, right? Which is good, which means that it's likely going to continue buying till this point, right? It's likely going to continue buying to that point. But the fact that it breaks above there, what that would do for me is that it's just for me to I will expect it to return back to test this place. I expect it to return back to this, and when it tests that place, that is where I will now be taking my buy to the upside. You understand? So that is how I'll be taking my buy to the upside. Okay, so that is my advice for GBPJPY. That's what I will actually advise. Yes, it's currently buying. I actually expect that it will keep buying, but the truth is that from where it is on around where it is right now, I would watch out for price 197.450. If a breakout happens there, there's a high chance that price will continue and price will now go and make a new high. If price can break above that 197.450, price will make a new high. I strongly believe that. You understand? So that is how I would trade GBPJPY. Okay, so like I said, it's not even about buy stop or sell stop. It's the fact that considering 197.450, once a breakout happens at that point, there's a high chance that price will continue to the upside, and it's all about trying to enter there at the right way. Now, what does that mean? It also means that around that 197.450, around that zone, if price gets there and price cannot break it, price is rejected, price gives me candlestick pattern, inverted hammer, bearish engulfing, all the likes, I will now be selling. It means that price cannot break this resistance, and then I'll be looking out for a sell. You understand? That's how I'll trade it. Then let's use a clearer chart. We do not have so much volatility in the market, although these instruments have shown us that there's a lot of bullish pressure in them. This is US30. US30 is returning back to new highs. It's returning back to new highs, and the truth is that that's not something that cannot happen, right? We always know that in the index market, they seem to be on a bullish trajectory. Gold, or they seem to be on a bullish trajectory, right? So, but I would advise, or what I would do, considering US30, is to look out for a very good place where I can take advantage of that buy on US30. Personally, I still expect US30 to come back to this zone. I still expect US30 to return to this zone here. This zone here like this. I really expect US30 to return here before it makes any big push or whatever. I expect it to return to this point. So what I would advise is this: if you check on this 15, we are currently on the 15 minutes time, 15 minutes time, you would notice that this is what US30 is doing. It's breaking, is making lower lows, making lower lows. It has made them. We did something like this during the power of this, returned to that point and staking liquidity. So personally, I will be looking out for selling US30, especially when it breaks below 40,000. Once it breaks below 40,000, personally, now that means that if you're using a pending order, for instance, you'll be considering using a sell stop. Right? So from 40,000, right? Now, for persons who are not using a sell stop, what you will now be wanting to see is for price to close below 40,000. If it closes below 40,000 and it returns to this place, you now take your sell. But US30, the bearish pressure in the market, I still expect a further sell. I think that a good place where we will be able to buy US30 from and really enjoy that buy on US30 is somewhere around here. This 39,730. I think that is a good place where we will be looking, where we would, buy US30. That's a good place for me, because I noticed the fair value gap there, so I feel like price may likely return towards that point, and then push up from there. Okay, so if you're doing a pending order, you're selling from 40,000, or you could use the method I described, whereby you wait for price to break below 40,000, expecting it to return back to that point, and then you sell from there. So if price breaks below 40,000, you notice that price has broken below 40,000, you can now put a sell limit at that point. You understand? So those are the ways you can actually trade it. Okay, Euro USD is still approaching our point where we have, will I say, set a trap for it to expect price to actually push back to the upside. You understand? Then I think I can consider one more. I think we'll consider one more. So for USD JPY, USD JPY, there's nothing little about the recap on GBP JPY. Oh. I explained quite a lot. I didn't give any entry. I explained how to trade it, so I don't think I can go back to explaining what I did, what I said. So sorry about that. Well, for USD JPY, the same thing with GBP JPY, whereby we're seeing price return back to the upside. We're able to take advantage of that sell on GBP JPY, especially when our RSI gave us an overbought market, right? We noticed that also on the monthly time frame. I think we got like a divergence or something. I think we got a divergence. On monthly time frame, we got a divergence. So I was still saying that USD JPY is an instrument that is supposed to do very good retracement. Very good retracement. And so that's why I personally will expect USD JPY to still sell. Right? Look at how let's look at this. This is daily time frame. Inverted hammer, bearish candle, with very little wick to show very bearish pressure. So USD JPY is an instrument that I still expect to sell. You understand? I still expect USD JPY to sell. So the point is now, where are we considering selling from? You understand? That's the point. Where are we considering selling from? And that is why you notice that I'm going from one time frame to another to look out for the best possible place where I would consider a sell from. Now, one thing we should understand is that anytime price, like I said, once price breaks its structure, the most recent structure on 1 hour was here, where price found it hard to break for a while, right? Price found it hard to break here, and then price broke it here. Price has returned to that point. Given the strength of the dollar, price has returned to that point, and that's a place where we could consider a retracement, where we consider the end of the retracement and consider price falling back to the downside. So that said, let's look at it. I'm currently on 30 minutes. Let me readjust this so that we have our support and resistance on the right spot. Good. So I'm on 30 minutes, and if I were to sell USD JPY, really, if I were to sell USD JPY, one place I will consider selling USD JPY from is somewhere here, which is around where the 30 minutes candle is. Now, why am I selling from there? Number one, I noticed that this will be like a kind of double top. Okay, considering the fact that I still, the reason why I'm picking this entry point is because of the bias, the bearish bias already. You understand the fact that there is a bearish bias. Okay, so if I consider that point, I would consider selling USD JPY from that point, especially if price can head towards this point here. That is a good place for me to consider selling USD JPY. You will notice that if you follow my horizontal line, you see that it's a place where price has been rejected a couple of times. You understand? It's a place where price has been rejected a couple of times. So even if this buy happens, the price gets to that point, you can actually see a very good sell from that particular point. So where I'll be considering selling USD JPY from is around 155.870. I'm considering selling USD JPY from 155.870. I can use a stop loss of around 20 pips to target at least 30 to 40 pips of sell. Okay, target at least 30 to 40 pips of sell. So if this is a good trade and it's a trade that goes in profit, if price has gotten to profit of 30 pips or 40 pips or thereabout, you can now adjust that your stop loss, to protect your profit as price continues. You understand? So looking at it, there's still a lot of bearish pressure in the market. We looked at the dollar index. We saw how well the dollar index fell, although it was doing some form of retracement, but we felt it has not broken structure yet. It has not broken that uptrend yet. There is still weakness in that in the dollar. You understand? And we're done with the high impact. I personally was expecting CPI to strengthen the dollar yesterday, which was not really the case. So I think this weakness in the dollar will likely go on. Of course, that's my own opinion. So I'll be considering selling from 155.872. Another good place, another good place that I found, would be this 156.260. You can also put it down as a place you want to consider selling from. 156 point, let's just say 156.260. Yeah, 156.260. That's another good place where you can consider selling USD JPY from. Okay. Well, talking about how to explain pips, I would advise you go for the basic class. This is not the basic class. This class is it's for people who are trading already, so they will understand pips. But there's no problem at all. We have materials to explain what pips and all that is. So you just need to, I'm sure your account officer maybe sent a broadcast and you joined, which is very good. So just tell your account officers to provide you the resources to our online class, to our basic classes. If you are around Lagos, you are around Ibadan, you are around Port Harcourt, you are around Abuja, you can head over to our office for basic training from Monday to Thursdays. You understand? So personally, I'll be looking out for that sell from 155.870 and 156.260. Those are areas where I will consider selling USD JPY. Okay, those are areas where I will consider selling USD JPY. For our sell on oil from 83, we had one at 83.59, we had another at 83.77. Price brushed 83.59, but seems to be rejected at 83.77. So just need to monitor that trade as it goes. Also, we need to monitor with, of course, applying proper risk management, our Euro USD, which is approaching our buy zone at around 1.08460. Even right now, where Euro USD is now like this, I'm really suspecting that it could push up from here, but 1.08460, 1.08320 are zones where we're considering buying from. And if it doesn't get to that zone before it pushes up, we'll buy from 1.08760. You understand? Then GBP USD, we also did the same thing where we said for GBP USD, we'll consider buying from 1.26320, 1.26320, or 1.26150, right? Good. No, I'm not doing US 2000 today. Sorry about that. I'm not doing US 2000. So, what we will do tomorrow, do we have any, tomorrow is Friday. Do we have any high impact news? I don't think so. The market will be, so I think that tomorrow will even be a good time where the dollar, is that you can't be, what we gave was a sell limit, not a sell stop. So maybe that's why it will not even go. We are considering to sell oil from that place, but you can only buy oil if it closes above 83.77. You can only buy oil only if it closes, like I explained. I really, thank you very much. Now, please, it's very important that you are also working with the explanations I give, because that's also helps. I was saying that anything that even makes price to break above 83.77 means you start buying, but wait for it to return to that place before you buy, right? That's what we said. So you need to be very careful with that. Okay. The instructions are very important. I think they are even more important than the entries. Okay. So, and then also we looked at US 30, where we said US 30 was giving a lot of bearish pressure. And then we said that we need to watch out for 40,000. 40,000. So we can have a sell stop at 40,000, or check out price action. If it breaks below 40,000, once it returns to that 40,000, you can sell from there. You understand? So for USD JPY, I gave in terms of pips. I said you're looking out for If you are as well. So we said for USDJPY, if we're selling from 155.870 or 156.260 or 210, something like that, please you can consider like 30 pips or 40 pips. And if price has approached that point in profit, you can now move your stop loss, to protect your profit or something like that. So that's what we talked about, right? So, but yes, these are the instruments we're looking at today. Of course, if there is further information, we're going to drop just like we did. We're going to also drop on the WhatsApp channel, but we will continue tomorrow by 8 a.m. with morning market review. We'll continue tomorrow by 8 a.m. We'll continue with morning market review. Okay, but yes, that's the much that we can take today. Thank you so much for your time. I want to wish you a very profitable rest of today. Bye for now.